I'm Yaya and welcome to my channel. I am going to do the same thing that I've been doing every week, and that's just read through Reddit posts and see what thoughts I have. So I'm on life pro tips, like I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, but I have a feeling I'm gonna venture outside of it just because, sometimes it's not always, they don't always have the most interesting things to say on here. So if a company won't put it in writing, it's a lie. This was very popular. Actually, this is very true. I have had experiences with this happening to other people, not me, but my boyfriend has actually had a few situations in which the company will promise or a manager will promise something and then they don't put that in writing and then they don't honor that verbal offer or commitment. But that's the extent that I want to comment on that. This isn't very popular, but it's resonating with me. You aren't required to have an opinion about everything, even when pressed for one. So this person goes on to say, some people might have a problem with this because they demand to know where everyone stands on everything, but you might find life happier if you reserve judgment on many things. I think there's situations where this applies. Let's see what other people think. Yeah, so the first comment, this is actually a pretty good one. Better to accept a lack of relevant knowledge and keep an open mind. Even if you have relevant knowledge, not committing to a side is also viable until you form an opinion either way if it ever comes to that. The first reply is, I disagree. This person says, oh, Chicago to Detroit. I literally had a dream about Detroit last night. I had a dream that I had a YouTube channel where I was like going around to Detroit restaurants and reviewing them, like how people go around to international restaurants and review them. Maybe one day. And yes, this person says opinions are not facts. Why this is life pro tips. Okay, how to accept a job mentally. Oh my God. Every time I wake up in the morning and have to go to work, I feel like, do I even need it? And I do. I think, what if I just don't go? What if I just don't need anything? Fuck it. And I mean, I know why I'm working. I know I need to have money to survive and pay bills and that everyone is working and it's default. But every morning I just hate my existence and would do anything just so I cannot work. It happens no matter what job I have. If I love my job, morning routine is the same, even if I enjoy the process. Start is always the same. Bonus points, if it's cold and dark outside, I just want to sit at home and do nothing. I feel like every time I try to start working, my brain says, no, we don't need it. It's so good for us here, sitting at home doing nothing, and I don't have the willpower to resist it. This is very interesting because I share some of the same sentiments. I've always felt like, I'm very much Bender from Futurama. For me to like do things, it takes a while for my like engine to get up and revving. I've always kind of had this default where it's like I'm dragging myself into doing something, especially work. It's like, I don't want to work. Like, work in itself just has a negative connotation in my mind. But now that I've gotten older and done a lot of self-reflection and have made certain conscious efforts and changed my thoughts about what I want to be doing in life, I just realized like it's all a mental game, which is how to accept a job mentally. You have to reframe your mindset around what you're doing and why you're doing it and the reward that comes at the end of it. So, for example, getting up, going to work, doing the mundane things, you're learning something. Right now in my role, I'm learning how to be a manager, and that is not my first inclination. That does not come very naturally to me, to like manage what people are doing, and I'm learning how to do it because I feel like that's a weird term. You manage like projects. I don't think you like manage people. You manage their time. You manage their time to get things done on a project. But I'm not a manager. I'm not one of those micromanage people who stand over people. I love when people take initiative and do their own thing. I like working together with people and collaborating on things, but I don't like telling people, you do this and you do that. And even if you think about it, like, you're not married to this job. What if I just don't need anything and fuck it? Like, okay. But like how can you change your mind frame to be like, what can I learn from this? Because even though this might not be where I want to be at the moment, how do I make it somewhere that I want to be that will help me get to the next place? And this person is very much in the moment. Like, I just want to sit at home doing nothing. And there's some days like that. So plan that day on the weekend. Let's see what other people have to say about this topic. You have options. Make as much money as you can so you can retire early. That's a big motivating factor. Live on less money and work part-time. Find a partner who's happy for you to stay at home. Work from home, so at least you don't have to go outside. Find a job you don't mind doing. Yeah, exactly. I think this is great advice. Like, you don't have to be stuck in what the status quo is or what you think the status quo is, because there's people out there doing way more than what we see. We see people getting up, working 9 to 5s, or working midnight shifts or working 2 or 3 jobs. And I think that there's ways. Can you just jump into doing something new? Probably not. But you can start taking very small steps, like this person saying, make as much money as you can. Or actually, their second point, live on less money and only work part-time, is actually a very good tip, because I've always been scared to be like, oh, I'm just going to go part-time and live on less money, but it's possible. I've heard of people who just quit their jobs and they're like, I'm going to do this other thing that I want to do. I feel like there's success stories and there's failures, but you make it work for you. Even like getting a job where I was remote, I was always like, how am I going to do it? Like, how am I going to provide for myself to be like working from home? And then COVID forced it and showed us that it was possible. And the job I had at the time was like talking about taking us back into the office. And although I really liked where I worked, I was just like, I have to be honest with myself. I'm not a person who wants to go into an office. I just don't want to do that. I like having my day to be very productive. I don't like people coming in and interrupting me. So I had to sit down and be really honest about myself and say, this is what I want. How do I find it? And I immediately started job hunting, and it took a while to get somewhere, but I found something and now I'm doing what I want to do. You have to know yourself, I guess is what I'm saying. So once you know what you want, then you can start to build that life around you. So this person doesn't want to get up and go to a job, it says. So I think knowing yourself, kind of like compromising until you can get to the point where you want to be, is really important. So yeah, I think that accepting a job mentally means like accepting where you are, and then really figuring out where you want to be and starting to align with that. So maybe this job isn't for this person. Maybe the type of work they're doing is not really motivating them enough to get out of bed and say, hey, I just don't want to sit here and do nothing. Like, I get excited to do this. I get excited to get up in the morning and like work towards something and achieve something. So if that isn't working, maybe there's some reevaluation that needs to be done. Or, I'm not a therapist, but I support that. Maybe you can figure out why you don't have any willpower, because if there's something else going on, then that's something deeper. This person said, I'm 39 and still trying to figure that one out. Some problems aren't fixable, I think. I kick the feeling of getting up earlier, having breakfast, water, going for a walk, get back, get ready for work, simple routine. Yeah, so this is a really good point, because I think if you get up in the morning to go to work and that's not what you like, then obviously you're not going to want to do that. For me, finding something else to get up for in the morning was very motivating. It made me want to get up and get out of bed and do stuff. So finding something that can excite you and get you out of bed before you have to work could be a helpful tip as well. Okay. This person says, find a job that will fit your sleep schedule better. Maybe a job in the afternoon or nighttime. To quote my dad, if it was fun, they wouldn't call it a job. Real talk, though. That's actually what they say, real talk, though. Yeah, this person just says, honey, you might have depression. Like, a pretty functional case, but still. Okay, well, I feel like I've rambled on for enough time. So again, if you enjoyed this video, if you are enjoying my other videos, if you have any feedback for me, or if you want me to cover a certain topic, I'm open to that as well. If you'd like to have conversations about what we're talking about in these videos, please comment below. Also, please subscribe and hit the like button and ring the bell if you want to be notified for when I post more videos. And again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.